Spencer. I told you it was fast. Yeah, it sure is. Hey y'all, it's Friday. It's time to fire it up. Me and Spencer are keeping our social distance. As you can see, we've been sitting in the truck together, but it's all good. Listen, this week we're going to do something different. First of all, the mule horn, this weekend was supposed to be Mule Day, and it got canceled because of the virus. So to all the mule fans, we're looking forward to seeing you next year. And restaurants are closed, so Columbia kind of took a hit this year, but we're going to pull through. Now, today, this week, we're going to talk a little bit different because we got more time. A lot of people at home, not allowed to work. So we're going to talk about engines. I'm going to show y'all some things. The last few weeks, we shined a light on the Coyote motor in the 1950 April's truck, and then we shined the light on the 59 GMC Donna's truck with the LS motor, and then we shined the light on the Jimi Hendrix truck with the small block Chevy. So now we're going to go back in time to the 6-cylinders, 235s, and everybody knows about the 216s. And but did you know that there was a 261? A lot of people when you would talk about, oh, I got a 261, they would say, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. He means 216. Well, the 216s were put in the earlier trucks, and they had about maybe 90 horsepower, somewhere in there. But then they came out with the 235 that was a self-oiling system. The 216 had what called Babbitt bearings. A lot of people didn't like it, especially if you were on the road a lot. You could burn your motor up. So the 235 had that's when you came to an oil pump where it actually pumped oil up, and it was a lot better. So then they came out with a 261, and this motor was designed basically for the farmers and the over-the-road type trucks. And 261s had about 30 more horsepower. A 235 has about 110 horsepower, and a 261 has about 130 to 140, give or take. So I'm going to show everybody for the first time, because I've been keeping it a secret for about 10 years, the only difference between a 235 and a 261, because I've sold a lot of trucks at Barrett Jackson and Meekum, and a lot of people just think it's a 235, but it's got 30 more horsepower, which means going uphill, you know, it's a lot more powerful. So come here, I'm going to show you. So when you look at this motor here, from the first glance, it just looks like a 235. If you come over here, this actually looks like a 216 because it's got the 216 valve cover. But what's happened to this motor, earlier on in the years, somebody actually used a 261 block, but they put a 216 head on it because probably the head was burned up, and back then, you know, you had to get what you can to make the job go and get back on the road as quick as possible. So somewhere somebody put a 216 head on here, but this is actually a 261 engine, and that's a 261 engine. But let me show you up close the only difference between a 235 and a 261. If you come down here right above the starter, you'll see these two number ones, or two eyes, or them. It just looks like that right there, it's the number 2. Now if you come over here, if you see here, this is also, it's got the 2 lines in it. I don't know if y'all can see that. See those 2 lines? Now, let's walk over here. So this engine looks just like them, basically. And if you'll notice, come around over here, Nate. Right above the starter, there's no number 2, or 2 lines, or the 2 eyes. So this is a true 235 right here that has about 110 horsepower. All right, and so that's a 261 with a 216 head. That fools a lot of people right there. And But this is a true 261 with about 130 to 140 horsepower. And you can see it was in a farm truck or a grain truck. Had the 4-speed with the grandma low for getting up the hill. And right now Spencer, he's been changing spark plugs and stuff. Nasty Mike from Nebraska, I put a bolo out. I said I'm looking for these certain engines, and this is how you can tell what they are. And I said any engines that you can find, get them for me. So on his last run, he brought me these engines. So it's sad because it's such a beautiful day, but there's so many people sick. And of course the governor's telling everybody to stay at home and only go out if you have to. So, but you ready to fire this thing up?
I am.
This is a 261 with about 130 to 140 horsepower. And we're going to see if this thing will fire up. All I'm doing is I made a jumper wire over to the coil. He's going to put a little gas in here. Obviously we're using weed eater gas because we feel that it's not essential to drive to the gas station to get some plain gas. So we're going to see what weed eater gas will do. Don't stand back from that fan. Stand over here. Sometimes them blades will sling off and it ain't good. People get cut up.
Let's hear it.
So let's see what it'll do.
Sounds pretty good.
It's hard to believe this thing, literally all we did was put a set of plugs in it and put some gas in the carburetor and it started right up. It's interesting. I've noticed one thing on this is that fan blade, it's got more blades on it, 2 more blades than a regular one, which puts out a lot of air. As you can see, it blew my Poland rental hat off. So but that would have kept it a lot cooler. I'm gonna have to do some research on that and see if that's just something that somebody put on there. But it kind of looks somewhat factory. But anyhow, so also when I gave it the throttle, I could tell, because I've cranked up so many of them, that this motor has more torque. I mean, as you know, I just give it a little bit and it was kind of wanting to tip over here. And in the past we've cranked up 235s and they didn't do that. So I could tell that this one has more horsepower. But anyhow, we're good to go, aren't we? Spencer won't be with us. He's being quarantined. Real not important for him to drive. School's out, but he needs to stay away. So
Stay safe out there.
Stay safe. That's what's important. We got to get through this, and that way we got lots of car shows and truck shows to get ready for. Looks like maybe in the fall, but anyhow, I think we're going to move over to this one, try to get this one running. What I might do is, because you know a lot of people at home, and next week and the week after it's probably just going to be me. So I may put a video on every day of what I'm doing. You know, I think the videos are a little bit better than the pictures. But anyhow, I think we're going to call it a week and start cleaning up. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea.
All right, we'll see y'all.
Everybody stay safe out there and we'll keep you posted.